And also we receive their instructions, which allow us to become pure in our practice. So we will discuss briefly whatever time we have, both on Sri Rasikānaṃda. Rasikānaṃda Prabhu, I don't think most of you know about Sri Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. Rasikānaṃda Prabhu is the fourth generation from one of the most loving associates of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Gauridas Pandit. We were trying to go to Ambika Kalna. So Ambika Kalna is the place of Srila Gauridas Pandit. So Srila Gauridas Pandit's, I hope you have done Mangalacharan, performed Mangalacharan. Okay, before I begin, Jayo Jayo Sri Chaitanya, Jayo Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jayo Jayo Sri Chaitanya, Jayo Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jayo Jayo Sri Chaitanya, Jayo Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So in Chaitanya Leela, Lord Chaitanya's associates are all those associates which were already present in his Vraja Leela. So one of his most confidential friends were the 12 Gopals. You should be knowing the name of 12 Gopals. They are called the Dwadash Gopals. Who are these 12 Gopals? And how they have appeared in Chaitanya Leela. So one of the 12 Gopals is the Gauridas Pandit. And he is even more intimate. He is the Subal Sakha. He is Subal Sakha. Who is Subal in Krishna Leela? Can anyone answer? Apart from being Krishna's cowherd friend, what else is the identity of Subal Sakha? Boliye. We have many times discussed. So Gauridas Pandit was the close associate, the contemporary of both Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And his disciple became Hriday Chaitanya. The beautiful deities which were carved in the presence of God Nitai, they were worshipped by Gauridas Pandit and followed by his disciple Hriday Chaitanya. And his disciple, Gauridas Pandit's disciple, was so elevated that Gaur and Nitai took shelter in the heart of Chaitanya. So his name became Hriday Chaitanya. Once it had so happened that Gauridas Pandit wanted to celebrate a grand God Purnima festival, the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he told his disciple, Chaitanya, that we will be celebrating the God Purnima festival, and he went for a pilgrimage. And he could not return till the day of God Purnima itself. So it happens with us also. All of our temple devotees are in Mayapur. And they will come only 1 or 2 days before God Purnima. So just by coming 1 or 2 days before God Purnima, can we have the big celebration? Not possible. We have to start from before. Yesterday we had Shobha Yatra. So Sadhu Vijay Prabhu, he had to come before. I also have to come before because there are services, so many services. So in any case, so this dedicated disciple of Gauridas Pandit, Hriday Chaitanya, he made all arrangements. And when God Purnima came, so he started to celebrate the festival. And the festival was done with such loving devotion that Gaur and Nitai, they jumped out from the altar and they went out where the festival was being observed and they were dancing. And when Gauridas Pandit came back, he came back on the eve of God Purnima, and he came to the altar and he saw his Gaur Nitai missing. So he became very, very upset and he became very angry. And where have they left? For them I went so far. And then he came to know that his disciple is observing a grand festival, and there, Gaur and Nitai, he found them dancing. And when he found Gaur and Nitai dancing, so he chased them with a stick to beat them. That how without my permission you came out? And he also chastised his disciple very heavily, that in my absence, how you are celebrating. But anyway, so Gaur and Nitai, they were so frightened of Gauridas Pandit that they jumped and entered into the heart of his disciple Chaitanya. And when Gauridas Pandit saw this, he was struck with wonder. Tears started to flow from his eyes, and he dropped his stick and embraced his disciple and said, "You are very fortunate," and named him Hidaya Chaitanya. Very, very amazing guru-disciple relationship. And then from Hidaya Chaitanya, his disciple was Shyamanand Prabhu, the very famous Shyamanand Prabhu. The three Acharyas, Shyamanand Prabhu, Narottam Das Thakur, and Srinivas Acharya. And Shyamanand Prabhu's disciple is Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. So this is the lineage. So Rasikānaṃda Prabhu is born in Utkala. I'll take help of the writer so that I am systematic, and time is short. So in short time, I have to cover both the Acharyas. One moment. So he is born in Utkal. He appears in Utkal. You know, Shyamanand Prabhu was given the province of Orissa to go and preach. Narottam Das Thakur was given the province of Kheturi to go and preach. And Srinivas Acharya was in Vana Vishnupur and Jhajigram. Next time when we go, we will cover this portion of Jhajigram and Srikhand, and also possibly we will go to Ambika Kalna, the place of Sri Hridaya Chaitanya. So he was born in 1591 after the departure of Lord Chaitanya and also Nityananda Prabhu in Utkal. There is a place called Rohini, not the Delhi Rohini. It is in the border town of Bengal and Orissa. Sri Rasikānaṃda Murari was born in the city of Rohini. And this is the part of the kingdom of Malabhum. This is somewhere on the border area of Bengal and Orissa. And he was born on Sunday and the first day of the bright fortnight of Kartik in the year 1590. How many years after the departure of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How many years after Lord Chaitanya's Mahaprabhu's departure or disappearance? So much time you are taking. And still you are not speaking. Yes, Ramya?
Prabhuji, 56 years.
Yes, 56 years. Mahaprabhu, he wound up his earthly pastimes in 1534. So this is 2 generations ahead. That is of Hridaya Chaitanya Prabhu and Shyamananda Prabhu. And then comes Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. So he appears in 1590. And the day he appears is very auspicious day. That is the day of Deepavali. So there is celebration all over. And he appears in a royal family of big landlord. His father is Achyutananda and his mother is Bhavani Devi. And both are great devotees of Lord Narayan. And they have been worshipping Lord Narayan and requesting him to have someone like the Lord himself as their son. And their prayers are offered and they have in the form of Rasikānaṃda as their son. And Rasikānaṃda from his childhood was a very different child. He used to go and play with his friends outside, but his play was not like the ordinary plays of toys and balls. His play was of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, like we see in the life of Nityananda Prabhu. We went to the place, the meeting place, Nandanacharya's place, and we spoke about Nityananda Prabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu, from his childhood, he was absorbed in performing the pastime. But here Rasikānaṃda Prabhu was absorbed in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So one day his father stopped him from going outside and playing with the child because he was so absorbed he forgot about eating. So he was prince, he was the son of a king. So he was very much pampered and protected. So the father said that I will not allow you to go outside and play because you forget about your own welfare of eating and taking care. Your mother is very worried. So he said, I don't mind going outside, but I should be allowed to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So when the father heard his son's desire, he was very happy. And he appointed one Brahman called Vasudev, who was very expert in reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. So from his very childhood, Rasikānaṃda Prabhu used to absorb himself in hearing the pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam. He would hear again and again, all the 12 cantos. And when his study began, he became excelled in grammar, in nyaya, in all the streams. That would take ordinarily many, many years for a student to learn. He would pick it up only in few sessions or few hours. So he was extraordinary from his birth. And he would always, and his other favorite pastime was, his other favorite play was that he would gather the clay, he would assemble the mud, and he would make the deity form of Krishna and decorate it. Either he was absorbed in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, or he was absorbed in decorating and worshipping Krishna. And he would shed tears. His eyes would always shed tears and he would always cry for Krishna from his beginning of his life. And one day, Lord Krishna appeared to him in his three-form bending pose and told him that, do not cry, my child. Very soon you will be blessed by the guidance of my pure devotee, Shyamananda. And Lord Krishna assured him that you are my pure devotee, my associate, and I have appointed you to spread the love and devotion, which is my mission, to the people in general for their deliverance and welfare. And of course, the Lord told him that his guide, his guru would be the pure associate and devotee of the Lord himself in the form of Shyamananda Prabhu. But Shyamananda Prabhu was far away. Shyamananda Prabhu was not in Utkal at that time. Shyamananda Prabhu was in Vraja. And Shyamananda Prabhu was in Vraj under the guidance of Srila Jiva Goswami. And when the Lord appeared to Shyamananda Prabhu and told him that you have to go to Utkal to accept my pure devotee, Rasik Murari his name was, as your disciple, and both of you will preach my message of love and devotion to the people of Utkal and deliver them. But Shyamananda Prabhu was struck with heavy heart because he never wanted to leave Raja. But because this was the order and instruction of the Lord himself, so he was making up his mind to leave Raja and come to Utkala. But it was taking time. So the Lord Krishna personally appeared again, and this time to Srila Jiva Goswami. And the Lord ordered Jiva Goswami that you should send Shyamanand to Utkal. See how much, what a position is of Sri Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. That the Supreme Lord himself is making arrangement so that he can be initiated. So it is very important to take initiation. Tat vidhi paripatena pariprasnena sevaya. Upadeshanti te jnanam jnaninam tattvadarshina. The Lord himself is appearing and making arrangement. Why? Because the process is only through parampara. It is not direct. You see these three acharyas. Srila Srinivasa Acharya is the incarnation of Lord Chaitanya himself. But he was advised to go and take the initiation. You know who is the initiating spiritual master of Srila Srinivasa Acharya? Many times we have discussed. You should be knowing. You should know all these parampara members. Then only we come in parampara. Otherwise, how do we come in parampara if we do not know them? Don't you know who is the brother of your father? Or who is the sister of your mother? Do you ever forget? Or their children? Or their children's children? But why can't you remember the names of our parampara acharyas? Bolo Pranab. Srinivasa Acharya took initiation from which? Of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associate.
Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami.
Yes, Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami. See what arrangement Krishna makes. Gopal Bhatta Goswami was in Vraj, and where was Srinivasa Acharya? Srinivasa Acharya was in Jhajigram. So he went all the way from Bengal to Vraj to take shelter of Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami. But here in this case, what we see that Srila Shyamanand Prabhu comes all the way from Vraja to accept Rasikānaṃda Prabhu as his disciple. So Rasikānaṃda Prabhu arrives and he comes to the court of Achyutanand, the king Achyutanand. And as soon as he appears in the royal court, seeing his presence, his personality, his effulgence, both the father and the son, Achyutanand and Rasikānaṃda, both fell down on the feet of Shyamanand Prabhu and welcomed him. And in the night, Rasikānaṃda meets Shyamanand Prabhu and tells him about the dream that Lord Krishna has himself guided that you will be my spiritual master. So I request you to kindly accept me as your disciple. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam, and kindly instruct me that what is the mission of my life. He is already so elevated that Krishna is coming and appearing before him. He is absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam. But the necessity, the absolute necessity of taking shelter of a spiritual master through the life and teachings of the acharyas, it is very much emphasized. And Rasikānaṃda Prabhu request is accepted by Shyamanand Prabhu because Lord Krishna came and told him the same. And in the meanwhile, Rasikānaṃda Prabhu's marriage had also been done, and the wife of Rasikānaṃda Prabhu was Iksha Devi. So he requested his wife also that to please take shelter of Shyamanand Prabhu. And both of them get initiated. And he becomes Rasikānaṃda And I am forgetting her name, Mataji's name. She becomes Shyamadasi. She becomes Shyamadasi. And both of them devote their life in serving their Guru, Sri Shyamanand Prabhu. And Shyamanand Prabhu used to recite Srimad Bhagavatam, and everyone, Rasikānaṃda Prabhu, his wife Shyama Devi, in fact, Shyamanand Prabhu initiated all four. He did not only initiate Rasikānaṃda Prabhu, he initiated the Rasikānaṃda Prabhu's wife. He also initiated Rasikānaṃda Prabhu's father, Achyutanand, and also his mother, Bhavani Devi. I have seen some of my god brothers' families. The son is also initiated, his wife is also initiated, his mother is also initiated, his father is also initiated. Such glorious families that everyone is an initiated devotee in the house. What a glorious family. Everyone is engaged, absorbed in serving the orders of Guru and Gauranga. A glorious family, very, very glorious family. So Rasikānaṃda Prabhu becomes initiated, and okay, I'll come back here to the structured way of speaking. Some of the points otherwise I may miss while going extempore. So there is one pranam mantra also of Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. Rasikendra pada dandvam vande param mangalam sarva madhurya sharanam ashram paramotsava. I worship the lotus feet of Rasikānaṃda, Sri Rasikānaṃda, who is the reservoir of all sweetness and the highest joy. So after meeting his Guru and getting initiated, so Rasikānaṃda and his wife Shyamadasi became more and more devotional. But seeing that Rasikānaṃda was apathetic toward the family life, his family members were, after his father Achyut Maharaj had passed away, Rasika's brother began quarreling amongst themselves over the property. Rasika, however, was not involved in all this and spent his time serving the Vaishnavas and hearing Krishna Katha. He would personally wash the feet of the Vaishnavas and drink the water. He had no consideration for one's caste or background. He and his wife used to honor the food remnants left behind by his guest. Seeing Rasika's behavior, his brothers became enraged and thought that he would bring down the name of their family. But when the brothers began ridiculing the sadhus and Vaishnavas who visited Rasika, Rasika found it difficult to tolerate. Rasika thought that it was no use staying in the royal palace if he could not serve his guests there without the fear of disturbance. Thus he decided to move out of the royal palace and live someplace else where he could execute his devotional service more peacefully. He consulted with his wife Shyamadasi, who at once agreed to accompany him wherever he would take her. The couple selected a quiet place on the bank of Suvarna Rekha river. There was this place, Suvarna Rekha river is there. We see that most of the acharyas and all of the principal pilgrimage place, there is the bank of one of the auspicious river. The place was surrounded by mango and jackfruit trees and was exceedingly serene. The water of Suvarna Rekha was as pure as that of Yamuna. This place was not well known and was this kind of concealed before the couple had arrived. However, its beauty attracted even demigods. So this is the place which came to be known as Kashipura. And After leaving the palace, Rasika went to Mayurbhanj and brought his deity back with him. And Rasika built a place there, a temple there. And one day Lord Jagannath also appeared to him. Lord Jagannath appeared to him in the dream, and he told him that you install my deity and I will reside here as Gopal Rai, Gopi Vallabh Rai. So when Rasikānaṃda Prabhu saw the desire of Lord Jagannath, he got the deity of Lord Jagannath carved, and he and his wife, they installed Lord Jagannath. So his wife became the chief priest. Shyamanand Prabhu was also there. When Rasikānaṃda informed Shyamanand Pandit about his dream and his deity, Shyamanand named the deity as Gopi Vallabh Rai and named the place after the deity as Gopi Vallabhpur. Very famous place, Gopi Vallabhpur. He made Rasika's wife Shyamadasi as the chief priest of the temple. Shyamanand added Gopi Vallabhpur soon became as famous as Vrindavan. Here Krishna and his devotees would be served very nicely. From there on, Kashipur became renowned as Gopi Vallabhpur, and Rasikanand established his preaching headquarters at this place. As days passed, Gopi Vallabhpur became just like a second Vrindavan. Little children enacted beautiful pastimes of Lord Krishna, and the residents remained absorbed in singing his glories. See the beautiful deity. Can you see? This is worshipable deities of Rasikānaṃda, Gopi Vallabhpur. In the course of time, Rasikānaṃda wished to perform the marriage of his beloved Gopi Vallabh Rai. So Lord Jagannath personally told him, but he did not appear as Jagannath deity. He appeared as Krishna. Jai Gora, Sei Krishna, Sei Jagannath. So Rasikānaṃda Prabhu, he hired artists and engaged them in carving a beautiful deity of Srimati Radhika. All the necessary articles and paraphernalia for the marriage were procured. Rasika announced a great festival and invited several sadhus and Vaishnavas for the marriage ceremony. The festivity continued for 3 days, in which all the invited guests completely forgot themselves and became oblivious of this material world. This is where the spiritual awakening is. What is spiritual awakening? For 3 days, everyone forgot that they were in this material world. You had the same experience? For 10 days, we forgot about everything else in this world. No connection with anything else. We're completely cut off. In fact, by mercy, no phone call was also coming from outside. No one was disturbing. So wherever, see, this is there. If we have absorption, then we are uplifted. We come to the spiritual platform. All of them floated in waves of spiritual bliss. This great festival was held in the house of a devotee named Rasamay, who lived in Dharanda. At the end of the festivities, the deities were brought back to Gopi Vallabhpur. When Rasikānaṃda saw Radharani standing beside Gopi Vallabhju, he became intoxicated with mellows of divine love. Incessant tears of ecstatic love guided down his eyes. Okay, this is another. While touring Jagannath Puri, Rasikānaṃda was instructed by Lord Jagannath to carve a beautiful deity of Lord Govinda and worship him. By the will of Providence, Rasikānaṃda then met with 2 skilled craftsmen by the name Raghunath and Anand Kaurila. He took these 2 men along with him to Thuria, where he met with Shyamanand Prabhu. On being introduced, Shyamanand initiated these 2 men. Shyamanand instructed Rasikānaṃda to carve the deity of Govind Dev as per Lord Jagannath's wish. 3 deities were subsequently carved by Raghunath and Anand. First 2 of them were installed at Thuria and Shyam Sundarpur. The deity that was installed in Thuria was named as Sri Vrindavan Chandra. The third deity was carved and installed at Gopi Vallabhpur and was named as Govind Raya. The enchanting deity of Sri Govinda Deva is still worshipped in Gopi Vallabhpur with due reverence. So we see all the acharyas. We see in the case of Sri Narottam Das Thakur also. Sri Loknath Goswami asked him to install the set of deities. How many deities said he installed? 5. And he had that big festival at Kheturi, the first God Purnima festival, where he installed 5 sets of deity. And after the deity is installed, the worship begins. What comes next is the preaching. The preaching. And there is such extent of preaching that within very short time, they preach and they inspire and convert everyone to become the devotee of the Lord. So we see the same in the case of Sri Rasikānaṃda Prabhu also, even in Shyamanand Prabhu. Widespread preaching. Shyamanand Pandit instructed Rasikānaṃda to preach far and wide. He instructed Rasika to induce everyone to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, irrespective of one's caste, creed or religion. This is very important. Irrespective of one's caste, creed or religion. By the mercy of his Gurudev, Rasika preached widely and his disciples were countless. He was a great preacher and a stalwart scholar. No one could dare refute his words. In one such pastime, Rasika challenged the 2 sinful brothers, Bhima and Shrikara, to summon all of their scholars in a debate. These 2 fallen soldiers were the rulers of Dharanda, a place not very far from Gopi Vallabhpur. All these places are mentioned even in Narottam Das Thakur's pastimes. And there was no crime that they did not commit. Rasika announced that he was ready to debate on Vedas, Smriti, Shruti, Gita, Bhagavatam and teachings of Vyasa, Shukdev, Narad, Janaka and others in order to establish the supremacy of Vaishnavism. Accordingly, several expert scholars from various kingdoms arrived in the fierce debate that ensued. All of these scholars accepted defeat and surrendered into Rasikānaṃda. Thereafter, Bhima and Shrikara became Rasika's followers and submitted unto him. In due course of time, the entire town of Dharanda accepted Gaudiya Vaishnavism as their way of life. So this is the purity of these acharyas. They do not inspire or transform 1 or 2 souls. They transform the entire city or the entire state. Let us recite another of Rasikānaṃda's innumerable exalted pastime before we move to the next section. When Rasikānaṃda came to know that heretics were oppressing people in Vanapur and several parts of Orissa, terrifying them, king laundered general people. So this is heretics is the Muslims. At that time, the Muslims were ruling the entire country. So they were oppressing, they were forcing, they were committing so many austerities, atrocities, and they were forcing everyone. So they were terrifying the kings, the landlords, the general people and forcing them for religious conversion. So he decided to act. Begging permission from Shyamanand Pandit, Rasik set out to Vanapur to meet Ahmad Beg Subadar. This was a very, very cruel Muslim who was the head of the state. His name was Ahmad Beg Subadar, their leader. When Subedar learned that Rasikānaṃda was preaching so widely and had many followers, he became incensed and decided to meet him. Rasika's companion begged him to return and not to go anywhere near the sinful Subadar, who was renowned for his killing and ferocity. But Rasika did not pay heed to this warning and proceeded to meet him. Just at that time, a wild elephant entered the village and began causing destruction. So this Subedar, he had one elephant. Like Kamsa also had one elephant. Na? What was the name of Kamsa's elephant? What is the name of Kamsa's elephant? A simple answer. गोपाल, कंसा के हाथी का क्या नाम था? कंस के हाथी का क्या नाम था?
स्ट्राइक नहीं हो रहा माइंड में, सुना तो बहुत बारी है, स्ट्राइक नहीं हो रहा।
हाँ, स्ट्राइक करने के लिए कचरा बाहर करना पड़ेगा। प्रदीप, तुमको भी नहीं पता? हाँ? No idea. What did you say? I'm asking you, Pradeep.
Yes, no, there is. I don't know.
Why? You have not studied Krishna book. If you have not read Krishna book, then please start from tomorrow. You read Krishna book and make your daughters also hear Krishna book. Ganesh, what is the name of the elephant?
नहीं प्रभु जी, मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है।
हाँ, याद नहीं है। कहाँ से याद आएगा? दिमाग में सब कचरा भरा हुआ है। बोलिए दयाशील प्रभु। अनम्यूट कर दो। हाँ,
I also do not
पर
remember.
तुमको भी नहीं पता है। तुमको नहीं पता है, रम्या को पता है। बोलिए।
कुबलया पीड़ा।
हाँ, कुबलया पीड़ा. So this mad elephant was there with this Ahmad Beg Subedar. I'll cut it short because the time is over. Jagannath Das Babaji, of course, we spoke about Jagannath Das Babaji. We went to his Samadhi. So this elephant, he used to create havoc. He used to enter the village and ransack everything. He used to trample with his feet the houses, the cultivation. He used to kill animals. He used to even kill people. And everyone was very terrified. So when this Ahmad Beg Subedar came to know that Rasikānaṃda is coming to meet him, so what he did? He said that people are fools. They are worshipping him. He is an ordinary man. And I will teach him a lesson. So he asked his elephant to go and attack on Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. And he came with a huge, terrifying noise, making a noise, terrifying and, creating fear in the hearts of everyone. But when Rasikānaṃda Prabhu saw him coming, he was fearless. The actual identity of Rasikānaṃda Prabhu, that he is Anirudh, he is the incarnation of Anirudh, the Chaturvyuha. So he remained motionless, and when the elephant came near, Rasikānaṃda Prabhu took some water in his palm and recited some mantra and threw it on the animal. It struck on the animal, and the animal just collapsed, just sat down. And when he sat down, then Rasikānaṃda Prabhu preached to him. You see how Rasikānaṃda Prabhu preached. He told the elephant that this life is meant to serve Lord Vishnu and his devotees and to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Rasikānaṃda Prabhu chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the ear of the elephant, and the elephant fell on the lotus feet of Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. And in this way, he initiated the elephant. And the wild elephant became completely obedient. And when the villagers and that Ahmad Beg Subedar saw this, they were completely fearful. He became very fearful that he had offended such a saintly person, and he also fell flat. So in this way, we see Rasikānaṃda Prabhu, he converted many Muslims also. Many Muslims also took initiation from him. And there were others, Smartas and Shaivites and Shaktas, who would try to challenge or debate with him. But with the Vaishnava philosophy, he defeated them all with the philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this way he preached, he and Shyamananda Prabhu preached very extensively in entire Utkala and converted the kings, the landlords, and the entire country to become Vaishnavas. They used to perform kirtan, huge kirtan. There are three styles of kirtan. Shyamananda Prabhu has his own style of kirtan. Anyone knows? What are the three styles of kirtan? So, and in this way, he preached extensively. And he converted wherever he went. He spread the message of Lord Chaitanya, the message of love through his kirtan, and engaged everyone in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. And how he disappeared also is very, very ecstatic, very amazing. You all remember? We went to Shirchor Gopinath temple, took darshan of Shirchor Gopinath. Just opposite to the temple, we saw one premises where there is samadhi of so many Vaishnavas. So one day while performing ecstatic kirtan, Shyamanand Prabhu, he entered into duty of Shirchor Gopinath. And when Rasikānaṃda Prabhu saw this with his associates, the kirtan became, very, very intense. And even Rasikānaṃda Prabhu entered Shirchor Gopinath. And the samadhi is just in the same complex. You remember? Do you remember? You don't remember? वो भी भूल गए. मैं ले गया था आप लोग को रात में दिखाया था. It was little night at that time. There is a full area where that samadhi, where that kirtan was being held just opposite. And also, Shyamanand Prabhu's bhajan is where? The bhajan place is, Shyamanand Prabhu's bhajan place is Shri Shri Radha Shyama Sundar in Vrindavan. So there the Pushp Samadhi is there of Shri Shri Shyamanand Prabhu and also there of Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. So they preached extensively, they performed Harinam Sankirtan, and by performing Harinam Sankirtan and by preaching, they removed the distress of everyone in Utkal. And they fulfilled the desire of Lord Jagannath and Supreme Lord Krishna, who himself manifested and told them to spread the message of love and devotion. So in this way, we see the glorious life of Sri Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. There are many, many pastimes and many, many encounters he had with many, many other people who were opposing. But how Rasikānaṃda Prabhu and Shyamananda Prabhu, by their purity, he overcame all of them and touched their heart, and they all became converted, transformed, and became devotees. So on this day, we pray to Srila Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. He completely dedicated his life in the service of his Guru and the mission of Lord Gauranga. And he, with his own life example, teaches that how one should become dedicated as a disciple and devote his life in preaching the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Rasikānaṃda Prabhu, Tirubhav Tithi Maha Mahotsav ki jai. I'm not able to speak on Srila Jagannath Das Babaji. Just few days back we spoke when we went to Koladip, the Samadhi place of the Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Anyone wants to add something, want to say of Shri Rasikānaṃda Prabhu? कुछ कहना है? There are many, many other miracles also of Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. So that elephant became initiated and the name of the elephant became Gopal Das. And he became such an ardent disciple that he was always serving Rasikānaṃda Prabhu and the devotees of Gopi Vallabhpur. He used to go to the traders and bring rice, stacks of rice, and bring it to the devotees, to the temple. He used to assemble all necessary things himself. And everyone would lovingly give. So even the heart of such a wild animal like an elephant was transformed by the touch of Sri Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I don't see any hand coming up. So please meditate and pray. What a great Acharya he was, Rasikānaṃda Prabhu. He is, as I said, he is the incarnation of Aniruddha. He was very, very beautiful, very handsome. He is Aniruddha. You know Aniruddha? What does... So Aniruddha is the representation of Cupid. He is the son of Pradyumna. And Pradyumna is Cupid personified. But he engaged all his resources, all his wealth, all his beauty in the service of the Supreme Lord. Shri Rasikānaṃda Prabhu, Tirobhav Tithi Mahamotsav ki jai. Shri Jagannadas Baba Ji, Tirobhav Tithi Mahamotsav ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari. From